Hi, good evening. I'm Anna Olsen here on A1R Radio with my show Insights into Consciousness. Tonight on my segment, I am going to do another, I guess it would be part 2 on angels and communication with angels. And the person that I've learned the most about angels from is my good friend Karen Hastings. So tonight we wanted to do an online, actually on-air caller, live caller call in, and we're going to do a little bit of like a brush up on what it is that we do when we're talking to angels, what it is that we're looking for, how we communicate with angels, and what this entails. So, Karen, this is my good friend Karen Hastings. And she's an intuitive and a light worker. So I just had a few more questions. I know we had her on a couple of weeks ago, and I just really wanted to just kind of delve a little more into what the angels' jobs are and some of the names of the angels so that more people can learn about how they can utilize the service of the angels. And the more that we learn about anything spiritual, the more that we can ask for guidance or help spiritually from angels, guides, and what have you. So we're just going to delve a little bit into what types of angels there are, what it is that we do to communicate with them, and what that looks like. So how are you doing tonight, Karen?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So basically the first thing that we wanted to go over was how do angels communicate with us, or how do we communicate with angels? So what's your take on that?
Well, what I do personally is I just pray, and I try to become very still and quiet, and from there I just put out my intentions, and then usually they will come back and they will tell me what they want me to do. I usually start writing just anything I feel or hear, and I just keep writing and writing and writing, and then usually at the end of that writing, which I don't know what it says until afterwards, I'll pull a card, and it always is spot on.
Right, and I've seen you do it, and it is spot on every time. I've gotten text messages from Karen on days where I was really struggling, having a hard day, and she has pulled a card and a description of the card in the book, and she sends me a picture of it, and I'm reading it, and my first reaction is, oh my goodness, what just happened? That was incredible. Didn't text her that day. We didn't have actual verbal communication about it, but obviously the angels were talking to her about me. And so she gets a feeling to send it to me that day. So what does it feel like when you know to send it to me specifically when we haven't had any discussion about it?
They tell me. They actually, I'll pull a card one day. I'll be doing something, and I'll just be sitting there, and I'll pull a card. And there's something about that card that reminds me of you. Your name pops in to my heart and soul, and I'm very connected to you anyway. So the next thing I know, I feel guided to send you the information and the picture of the card so that you can experience it for yourself and take from it what you need. And a lot of times she'll tell me that it is just perfect timing, which they always are.
Right, and I always call it the NASA time exactness, or the synchronicity NASA style, because NASA can land or have a rocket take off at like down to the millisecond. Mm-hmm. They know when it's going to land, and they know exactly when it's going to take off, and they can time it just so. And I feel like that's also how this works with synchronicity, with angels, with intuition. I really think it's timed perfectly, and our job is to listen, to get the message, and then to pass that message on as quickly as we can.
Exactly.
And it usually works in just the right time. So the basics of communication, you said you're still, and then you believe, you have also noticed that it's good to believe that they're real and that they're there to help.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, I just assume everybody believes, because I do. But
yeah.
Anyways, yeah. You always, when I'm in that state of mind and I'm praying, I'm praying for something specific, and so I just always just sit back and ask, please help me with this one situation, and then when I get a message from them, I believe what they tell me is absolute truth. And the next thing is to just let it happen. Mm-hmm. So you've got to trust them. You have to believe and trust. And then at the end of that, I always say thank you. Always, always.
I remember that. Yeah, I just started thinking the spirits that have come through when I do medium readings too. Mm-hmm. And it's really a good practice, I think, to have, because the more grateful we are for it, the more that we can be humbled and realize that it's really, we're a conduit, we're a receiver. We definitely do a lot of the work, but really we're just interpreters and passing along a message from them.
Messages.
Right.
Definitely messengers all the time. And it's channeling.
Right.
Definitely channeling with the angels. And I love it.
Me too. It's incredible to see the effect. And I think sometimes the first part of it is to be brave enough to go ahead and convey the message to people, because sometimes it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, mm-hmm. right? When we have this message and we're like, okay, I know that I'm getting this from a higher being or from spirit. I call it spirit. It can be from an angel. It can be from, some people call it the spirit, the Holy Spirit, or spirit of a loved one. I just say from spirit because it kind of covers everything. Mm-hmm. And what I love is that every time I've had the courage to go through with it and tell the person, no matter how scary or nervous it felt, I was always glad I did it afterwards.
Yep.
I was always, not only was I glad that I did it afterwards, but it ends up being so incredible, and their feedback is so incredible. Mm-hmm. And like one time I was at a restaurant with my husband, and I kept getting a nudge, tell this waitress, tell this, the server there, tell her that the other girls are jealous of her. It's okay. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to stand up in front of this, all these people, and my poor husband's never seen me do this, And I finally just, when I was leaving, she came up and she said, oh, well, thank you so much. And then I turned to her and I said, look, I do readings. And she kind of got wide-eyed, and I started explaining everything to her. And she was so relieved that I told her. And she was so happy. She was like the sweetest thing. She was just so good at receiving it, that I was getting tears in my eyes, because I was so happy I went through with it. And it was just such a good experience. She had been going through a lot, and I thought, gosh, what if I didn't say anything? She wouldn't have understood that these girls were treating her bad because they were jealous. She had this bubbly, beautiful personality. Mm-hmm. And, there's also a message to our viewers that some of the time they're jealous, or they wish that they were like you, and that's why they're mean, and that was really the message for her. And there's no way I could have known. I didn't know her, didn't know anybody at the restaurant. And she received it well. And then my husband was laughing, and later on he's like, gosh, that looked like Long Island medium or whatever, he's like, that's what it felt. It was a lot of fun. But it was really hard, and I've had some much more difficult situations than that, too. I'm sorry. That's okay. So, basically, it's one of those things where if you can be really, really brave, and you can just be sure that you follow through with whatever it is that you receive from spirit, and let them know that everything will be okay. They take care of us. They make sure we're safe, because we're just there to help them keep other people safe and to help guide other people. Mm-hmm. So we do have a caller named Dina on the line. Dina, are you there?
I'm here.
Dina hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. So my friend Karen here, we were going to do an angel reading for you tonight, and we were going to pull a card for you. Is there a specific question or a topic that you would like to focus on tonight?
Yes, my love life.
Your love life, okay. We can do that. Yes, we can. Okay, I have a jumper, so. All right, a jumper means one of the cards kind of flew out as she was shuffling, and that usually is spirit telling you to use that card.
And it's the angel, Adriana. It says, I am leading you towards the answer to your prayers. Please listen and follow the steps. I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. So I don't know if this is the card. So I don't know if you've been asking about a specific person or just to have someone come into your life, but it looks like that's going to happen for you. And if you have somebody already, I think it's a good positive forward. Yeah.
Okay. Does this align, Dina, with what your question was?
The person I just met. Yeah, I just actually met someone.
Okay. You just met someone. Oh, good one here. Very accurate. Yeah, this is Adriana, the angel Adriana. So it's basically just the angel leading somebody who, I see her leading two younger individuals. And so I'm wondering, are you pretty new in the dating scene, or are you like on your first relationship, or are you just coming out of a relationship?
I just am recently divorced since September, but I've been separated for 1.5 years.
Okay. So it's
I just started to get into the
vulnerable time for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm seeing that you're being led as, are you kind of starting over or first timing this? Because I know that if you've been married before, you've kind of been in this comfort zone, and now you're coming way out of your comfort zone into feeling vulnerable and raw, basically, to this whole dating thing again, and can I trust this guy or whatnot? So that's what I'm seeing with it, too. And then Karen just took out the description of the card. Yes. Would you like me to read it to you?
Yeah,
it says,
please.
We have heard your prayers, and we are glad that you asked us for help. Have you been asking for help from the angels?
Yeah.
In your prayers? Well, they hear you. They hear you. They're listening loud and clear always. And they're going to help you. It says, you may know we can only help if you request our assistance. So if this is a relationship you're really wanting to be a part of, you're going to have to ask for their assistance and I guess, trying to maneuver around each other and get to know one another. And I think so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and it sounds to me like this is basically just kind of a shot in the dark where you're just, like you said, just came out of a divorce, and now you're going forward with this whole, seeing people again and having to figure out who to pick, which is a very difficult, it can be a difficult or compromising position to be in when you're trying to figure out who you can trust now and who you'll get along with and who's compatible.
Right.
It's basically just, well, now's a good time to really pray and keep asking for that guidance and that you're getting it. So Karen is basically confirming that you have been getting the correct guidance. I really like a lot of the new research also with attachment styles. And it's something to really be aware of before you go into your next relationship, to figure out what was your ex-husband's attachment style. Sometimes they're more of an avoiding attachment style. And then there's even like more of a nervous or a nervous attachment style, where people are feeling a little more insecure for various reasons. And then there's a more secure attachment style. So it's really important for you to kind of like figure out and research, what is your attachment style going into a new relationship? Which one am I compatible with? The avoidant is like the most difficult attachment style to work with. And so is the nervous attachment style. The secure attachment style is the safest for everybody. And it's really good to kind of look at who you'd be most compatible with, considering their experiences through if they've been divorced, if they've been through a really bad, nasty breakup, how experienced are they with others, what is their frame of mind? These are all things, there's so many things that go into choosing somebody. And I think this is what Karen was touching on with the card that came out. She didn't even pull it. It like flew out of her jacket. She was shuffling. And it's really just about asking for that guidance. Sometimes our angels on the earth, are the earth angels, that can be anybody from a good friend to a parent, could be a therapist, it could be your intuitive reader, it can be anybody. It can be you.
Yeah.
And Adriana also is leading two small children up a set of stairs, which is, to safety. So it kind of tells me that it is a new relationship, and so that, nurture it, take your time, and everything should work out just beautiful.
So, Dina, do you have any other questions? Is there anything else that you'd like us to touch on?
I'm a single mom now, and my ex left me with nothing, so I'm working really hard and just wondering if I'm going to be successful in my career.
Okay, that's usually a question after divorce is the financial. So, I if you want to pull a card, you can, but or whatever you want to do. But I am feeling like you are going to need probably about 2 years or so to really get established and just to get used to this new lifestyle. I think you're already, kind of starting that now, but that you'll need about 2 years to really getting your footing and to feel really stable in doing what you're doing. I think your career will go well, but like anything else, it'll take a little bit of time.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
It's like anything else. It's like you're welcome.
I also want to let you know that I heard yes, yes, yes. And that's usually how they communicate with me. They always say things in threes. So, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for calling in, Dina. And, you can reach me anytime. My website's at the bottom. It's AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com if you'd like to reach me or get another reading. And I'm also at Anna Olsen Intuitive on Facebook if you'd like to reach me there. You can also reach me through A1R. Any of those ways will work. Okay, so basically, Dina was calling in and wondering about her love life. That's one of the most prominent questions that we get as readers. Love life and finances are two really, basic things that people want to know about, or that they are really needing some information on. They need some guidance and these are some really basic things: that love, relationship, connection, and the financial. Those are the two things that make the world go around and really is important in people's lives. So, Karen was leading with this card about how she's been praying and that the angels are helping her, but she does need to seek their guidance and to continue seeking their guidance, and that they will keep helping her. The finance and the career, we got a really positive yes on. Karen got yes, yes, yes from the angels. Things come in 3 from the divine. And I got that it would be about 2 years before it was really well, established that, yes, her career will do very well. So that was a yes for me as well. But just to give it some time, because like anything, it's going to take a little time to establish. So we basically have just gone over half of what we wanted to about angels. I believe I have so many questions for Karen. I ask her so many questions. I try to answer them all. She does too. She's really good. So, the other thing that I wanted to know is you were telling me about archangels and how they have been in human form prior. Some of them, mm-hmm. And that there's different angels. Can you kind of go over that?
Well, I think what you really need to know first is that angels have never been human, and they are the closest thing to God. And God created them first, and they have a complete view of everything on earth in its heaven. And archangels are different than angels, because angels can never never intervene in your life because you have free will. So unless they have God's permission. And then archangels are assigned different things that they do for you, like the Archangel Michael, he's a protector. Peniel is the one who watches over everything beautiful in life. And if you harmony, peace, Gabriel is a messenger, usually known as Gabriel's trumpets. He brought forth a lot of news to people of Earth. And Ariel is the light of God. She's always the sweetest. I love that, Ariel. Mm-hmm. And then Roselle is the secrets of God. So if you're seeking something, she will come through and tell you, guide you. They don't tell you, I'm sorry to say it that way, just guide you to different books, places, people, things that you can look up, everything you need to know when you're seeking on your spiritual path and you have a question. She will lead you there. So that's the difference.
Right, and then I was asking you about Ariel because, or is it Uriel? Uriel was the
fire of God. Yes, when you're on your spiritual path, if you get off, Uriel will be the angel to set you back on your track.
Okay. Because I've been working with the angels and asking them for guidance, and I came to you because I'm like, Uriel, I swear Uriel was coming to me, and I didn't know what Uriel's assignments were. And you were saying that life path was Uriel's assignment, and that made perfect sense because Uriel was coming to me and saying, you're on the right track, just keep doing what you're doing. I was thinking about all these different things I wanted to do and all these different paths, and I was feeling like, discouraged, kind of like, am I doing enough? Am I, just asking them.
And Uriel popped up again today. The clip of a letter that just popped right up there.
Right, I thought, that's right. Yeah. And we were talking about the synchronicities, and I not to put like too many people's personal stories out there, but just that synchronicities work very well with the angels because that's one of their communication methods.
Yeah.
When we talk about synchronicities, we're talking about things happening with numbers. At just the right time, you'll see, like waking up at 2:02, and then somebody being in trouble at 2:02 in the morning. You didn't know until that next morning, and then them being in a hospital bed or the room is 2:02, bed 2. All of those things are happening around us, and it's just about paying attention and understanding that that's being, they're talking to us in the numbers, synchronicities, even names. Like I had a run-in with Brittany, and that was like, we were just talking about somebody that in your life named Brittany, and we, both had a really great experience with somebody named Brittany. These kind of things that are synchronistic, they're just, it's too hard to ignore after a while. So there's the synchronicities with the angels. There's definitely just them showing up at the right time in the right way, the right people coming across your path. And it really is because they're God's messengers and helpers, and they help us to do the same work. Mm-hmm. So when our heart is in the right place and we want to do God's work, we want to do the work of the higher frequencies of love and above, love and light, they will aid us in doing that. And there's, I noticed too, Karen, that when we talk about the angels, and the other day when I was at your house and we're talking about angels and their work, I feel suddenly like I'm on sacred ground, and I don't know how else to describe it. It's just this really peaceful, beautiful feeling, and that doesn't always happen with the synchronicities, but it does happen when people in numbers, when we start talking about it, when we start really paying attention, I feel like it's just so peaceful, and I don't know how else to describe it other than I just feel a lot of love and kindness. So we have 2 more minutes, but I love that you taught me about how to communicate with them, how they come about in our lives, how they communicate with us, how to recognize them, what their jobs are. And you also said they're all different shapes and sizes too.
They are.
So
big, small, little. Some have wings, some don't have wings. Some have big wings, some have little wings. They're just like all of us people. They're all different, and they're all beautiful, and they all have halos. That's one thing they all have.
So when you say a halo, does that mean they have an aura?
Yeah.
Okay, like a glow from their, like when I see auras, I guess I see halos because I see a beautiful glow when it's bright and beautiful. I see this beautiful glow coming off of the entire body, the shoulders and the head. So we have to start posing that, darn it. But I love the research of angels. You can definitely go into the study of angels and ascended masters, what their jobs and assignments are. This is a whole field of study that you can go into. It's just like anything else. You can delve into this, and they're scriptural. They're in every religion that I've ever heard of. They are obviously messengers. Most of the time, even in biblical times, they were the messengers. So this is just something you can delve into. I have to close now tonight. It's so sad, but thank you so much, Karen, for being on tonight. I love having you on, and I love talking about angels and love to do the reading today too. Thank you, Dina, for being on today too, and for calling in. I was so glad to be able to touch base with you and to communicate with you. I will see you next week here on A1R Insights into Consciousness. I'm Anna Olsen, your host. I will see you next week, and have a wonderful night. Thank you.